And a happy Friday to you. Lanny Ford along with you here on the bottom line. As we do each and every Friday, we'll jump on and get on with our good friend Bill Bender, Sporting News. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, Lanny. How are you?
I'm good. Excited for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's going to be a really good game between two teams that I think are just super talented. I think Lanny, I think we talked about it last week a little bit, or we didn't last week. Philadelphia should win the game, right? But Philadelphia doesn't have Patrick Mahomes. Philadelphia has everything else: great defense, great running game, Saquon Barkley, good coaching, but they don't have Patrick Mahomes, and I think that's what makes it so interesting.
Do you think it's really a toss-up game, as the lines predict?
Yes, I do. I picked the Chiefs by 3, but when we did the Michael Jordan Patrick Mahomes comparison, and we start making that, I always make this analogy because I remember growing up around that time, and I was in high school, and me and my buddies would be watching the game, and I'd be sitting there saying, hey, you know what? The Jags are going to do it this time. And every time I was wrong. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about the Chiefs. It's like, I did pick the Bills to beat them. I thought the Bills had a really good chance to beat them. But they didn't. And I do think it's going to be a super fun, competitive game. I don't know about you. I think the pregame build-up's been a little quiet. And that's a good thing. That means both teams know it's on when the ball gets snapped.
Well, I thought in the Bills game with the Chiefs, that was not the Kansas City Chiefs we'd seen in a number of weeks. That was a whole different team. There was a different level of intensity to me. A lot of the times I think when you watch the Chiefs play, and maybe it's they just make it look so easy, but it's almost like they're just doing what they got to do to get it done. They don't have to really pour it on, but I felt like they poured it on when you were watching that Bills game.
Yeah, their defense is really good too. That's the secret here is, for all the talk about Mahomes and Kelsey and even Taylor Swift, I mean, we probably take 4 or 5 storylines to get to what I really think is the key is this really good defense that keeps things in front. Steve Spagnuolo is a outstanding defensive coordinator, and they go inside out with Chris Jones. So yeah, I think they're a really good football team, and they face a challenge though. This is a really good Eagles team with Saquon, and Saquon was a total game changer for them because now you put Jalen Hurts back there with Saquon Barkley. You already have A.J. Brown on the outside with Devontae Smith. I mean, it's a really good football team, and they're playing very well in the playoffs. What they did to Washington was borderline disrespectful the way they beat them down.
Yeah, no, I agree. If the Chiefs pull off the three-peat, never has been done before, do we see a retirement announcement from Kelsey?
Good, or Andy Reid, but it has been done before, just not in the Super Bowl era. I always tell people, I'm a Packers fan, and I was at a Boy Scout function years ago in Rock Hill, down there in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and Bart Starr was speaking, and he was quick to remind all the reporters that, hey, 3 in a row, and we're the last team to do it, and so they did. I mean, they won the NFL championship, and they won the Super Bowl the first 2 years. So, but I get what you're saying. This three-peat would be historic. We've never seen it in the Super Bowl era. And if they do win, Kelsey, 35, right?
Yep.
Andy Reid. I don't know. I think Andy Reid is just going to coach football forever.
Yeah, I don't see Andy going anywhere.
And, I mean, when do we start to put him in the discussion of greatest coach ever? Like he's got it going on with the Chiefs right now. I know it's a long way to get to Belichick, but he's moving up that ladder.
Yes, he is. The other thing, I won't keep you long today. The other question I wanted to ask, I didn't see anything that had been written from you guys. Let's switch to college sports for just a minute. I'm hearing rumblings that the NIL thing, some of this stuff is starting to come unraveled, especially there's some stories coming out about some NIL that wasn't fulfilled at Florida State, maybe why Leonard Hamilton is stepping away. I've also seen a couple of things about maybe there was some point shaving going on. Are you seeing anything of this? Has this got any legs to it?
Well, the NIL stories that will come out, that won't be the first one because, I mean, it has to be concrete, right? Like it's like an investment. You got to protect the player. You have to protect your players in these investments, and that's why I think we're one step closer, and should be one step closer to like 1-year contracts.
And I hate to say it, but I see a collective bargaining agreement coming around. I don't think everybody's a part of it. I think you see a major change in college football landscape, maybe even basketball. But you're going to have to, because right now, you had the Wild Wild West before NIL money was flowing. Nobody knew where it was going. Now you know where it's going, and you still don't have any control over it.
Right. So I think that's we're going to need something to make that happen. To give some guardrails to the players so this doesn't happen. Because, to be honest, like that, if Leonard Hamilton resigns because that happens, is it really his fault?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think we need to have a separate. Okay, here's your contract. You have to stay. That would eliminate some things in the transfer portal, and also would guarantee payments. I mean, that was always the thing with these collectives, and even before NIL, when we used to do this the old way, the quote-unquote old way, it wasn't guaranteed you were getting paid.
No.
And that's a real game changer. That's the difference between the NFL and college football. The NFL, collective, like you said, players union, all those things. Right. I think we're headed that direction.
I think you're exactly right. So you're going Chiefs by 3, is that correct? That's what I heard you say?
Chiefs 30, Philadelphia 27. I don't know, Laney. I don't know if you do those square pools. You've ever done those? I've got I drew one with one of the local ones. Do it every year, and I drew 7 and 7. So I said to my best friend, I said, "What could possibly go wrong?" So you can almost count on a blocked extra point early in the game now that I have those numbers.
Right. Bill Bender, Sporting News. I appreciate your time, my friend. Won't keep you long. As I promised, we'll get back into college basketball next week because it's just around the corner. March Madness will be here before you know it.
Yeah, we will. Thanks so much for having me on, Lanny.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, Bill. That's Bill Bender from Sporting News, and Bill does a great job with Sporting News. You got it. He picked 3, the Kansas City Chiefs by 3. I just can't make a pick. Maybe it's just me, but we'll see what happens. Have a great weekend, folks. The guys will be in here in the morning early. They'll wrap up things going on. They'll have their Super Bowl picks. I'll see you next week.